My philosophy is very simple. When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, say something, do something, get in trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble.
He was always different than every member of Congress. Everybody knew what he had done. He was John Lewis.
We're marching today to dramatize to the world that hundreds and thousands of Negro citizens denied the right to vote.
Congressman Lewis gave us the blueprint to organize and to legislate.
The reason why he's effective as a leader is because he's lived it.
We made a decision to march in an orderly, peaceful, nonviolent fashion from Selma to Montgomery.
You are ordered to disperse. This march will not continue.
I was hit in the head. My knees went from under me. I thought I was going to down the bridge.
If John Lewis, as a 19, 20-year-old, wasn't doing what he did, I would not be here.
We will march with the spirit of love and with the spirit of dignity that we have shown here today.
The whole time he was in the movement, it was frightening, knowing the danger, knowing what could happen.
You cannot replace a John Lewis.
He's the most courageous person I ever met.
Too many people struggled and died to make it possible for every American to exercise their right to vote.
He challenges the conscience of the Congress.
Bring common sense gun control legislation to the House floor.
40 years later, John Lewis continues to inspire us.
Are you with me? Let me hear you. 3 civil rights workers that were murdered for trying to help people get registered to vote are looking down on us.
This is a time for action. That's what I learned from John Lewis.
There are forces in America today want to take us back, but we're not going back. We're going forward.
under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't gonna let the system walk all over me. Go to the border, way down to the border, and I took back what is over me. Took back my dignity, took back my humanity. Well, I went down to the border, and I took back what is over me. Took back my dignity, took back my humanity. Under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't gonna let the system walk all over me. Everybody sing now. Went down to the White House and I took back what is over me. Took back my dignity. Took back my humanity. Went down to the White House and I took back what is over me. Took back my dignity. Took back my humanity. Under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't gonna let the system walk all over me. No, 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 no. Under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't gonna let the system walk all over me.
Hey, hey, no, 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 yeah, yeah. People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Cowards keep on lying, while your people they keep on dying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. World, keep on turning, 'cause you know it won't be too long. Yeah, 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 yeah. Said I thought I'm glad he lived and trying again, 'cause the last time I love I learned the whole world dancing. Said I'm down, I'm glad I know more than I know then. Gonna keep on trying, yeah, till I reach for higher ground. Yeah, 'cause no one's gonna let me down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Higher ground, yeah, yeah. Reach for higher ground, yeah, yeah. Reach for higher ground. Oh.
We reaching for higher ground. And we open with John Lewis. And this is why, and we're going to definitely talk about those women that just performed. But we open with John Lewis because we keep talking with you and saying, can you handle the trouble, get in good trouble? And you see our everything in front of us is we're set under the lovely Edmund Pettus Bridge. We let you know that we do this in honor of the great John Lewis. And it was brought to my attention in a meeting I had the other day that we are the only show that was created in honor, that is running. And it was created in honor of the great John Lewis. So for people that don't know, and we know almost everybody, unless you're under a rock, knows who the great John Lewis is. But we still, just in case, brought a little bit of who he was. And that was going to be taken from something they did, the documentary they did a little bit, about a few months after his death, called Good Trouble. Now the women that we had that came out and performed, I'm already ready to start marching. I'm trying to go reclaim everything they done took from me. And I'm serious. I'm making a list. And this ain't Christmas because I'm checking this sucker twice. And I want to know who's been naughty or nice. Because I'm finna go, the song, if it does not inspire you, and it's at this time, at this moment, in this entity of the circle of everything that is happening, that we really have to really ask ourselves, what are we going to do? When are we going to take back what's ours? When are we going to fight and reclaim things that have been taken? A mother's crying right now. Mothers always cry, but black mothers, women of color, 90 bullets, 60 entering her son at 25 years old. No criminal record. Now the police is trying to say he shot at them, but we're looking for proof. So when I see all of these women of all races, of all ages, gathering together, letting it be known that you owe us something. And unless we fight to get it, we're never gonna get it. And it's obvious that we're here. And if you see me and I see you, we are truly blessed. We have air in our body. We've lived to fight another day. But each day has to mean something. That's why I am your co-host, Dionne Johnson. And I am with my lovely co-host, my Lena Horne of my time, Miss Denise Marie Harris. And we show up every week. Because we are like those women that you saw singing, clapping, and stomping. We are trying to help you reclaim what's yours. Help you get into good trouble. And we ask that question, can you handle the trouble? Bet you one thing, if you ask that mom today what she would have done the day before losing her son, knowing what she knows today, she would have already been sitting at somebody's city hall stomping. This is the thing. Denise and I always say we give you preventional tools because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I can't cure that mother's ailing heart. But we can fight to try to make sure we don't want too many more mothers standing at that sad, heartfelt door. Now this club is so large, you can't even get it. The line is so long, you can't see it. And we're just talking about of color. Guys, we got to get in trouble. Like John Lewis said, when you see wrong, you can't just sit back. You just as guilty. There was one black brother, Denise, in that pool. Of the 8 officers, 1 was black. May God have mercy on your soul. Because if you just were in fear and you couldn't speak, I don't want to tell you what you finna go through now. Y'all feel me? Okay, guys, we started serious because it's a serious tone, but those women, go back and rewatch that. I have watched that thing so many times, I will not say how much because it's embarrassing. But it gets you, see, I'm from the old South. I'm not like, my mother and them, but I'm still being in that, I know that feeling, see, because I heard that old gospel. I heard that old Negro spiritual stuff. I grew up with it. It was, as I was a 70s baby, so you still had the 60s and 50s around you. I even had my grandmother that was born in 1900s, 03 and all that. So that stirring and that, it got to me. I was on a wish when I went outside. I live around my wife. I was on that wish one of them. Say something to me right now. Mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, we have got to stand up and we got to march. Social media ain't gonna cut it. It ain't. To them, that's just a lazy way of dealing with us. They have a lot of little things they can do to block us. push us out the way. We are way more powerful if we shut down shit. We need to be blocking stores. I'm just being real here. I'm sorry. We need to be... To me, that's not a Supreme Court justice that should be able to get in their damn office today. Or any day next week. Or any day the week after. I'm sorry. I can't get to your house, but we on your street. You can't even be... Not only can you not turn your car, it's hard for your neighbors because we there. We there. And anything that you support, I'm emailing them. I'm shutting it down. I'm writing it in. I'm letting everybody know. Don't buy from him. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Guys, damn it. Somebody got to be tired. Somebody got to be as tired as we are. Somebody. Come on. It's more than us here. It didn't stop with Martin Luther King. It didn't stop with Malcolm X. It didn't stop with John Lewis. It couldn't have. And young people, this is your lives too. Mama's prayers ain't enough right now. This is your lives. For every young brother that died, how many of you are his age? That might just be out taking a ride, leaving your girlfriend's house, leaving your friend's house. Get to the ballot box. Go ahead.
We have to understand, looking at what's going on, I mean at the full landscape of what's going on, and we're going to hit a lot on that landscape this show, it can get overwhelming. It can make you want to throw up your hands and say, I'm done. It won't make a difference. But I had an interesting exchange on social media this week because I posted. My feeling about July 4th has always been it's a BS holiday full of hypocrisy. And I never celebrated it until I had a family. But for the sake of my kids, it became a day to gather and share love and laughter, etc. And some well-meaning white friends of mine commented about, well, you're still an American, at least you can celebrate that. And another one commented about, well, we can at least celebrate working for the principles that this country stands for. And I'm like, oh yeah, the first one said, your ancestors helped build this country. I said, hell, they were enslaved under the most brutal, inhuman, violent system ever created in this world. What helped? No, they didn't help. No. And these principles, these so-called principles, these principles were written by slave-owning white men who didn't even think I was a human being. What are you talking about? Can you not see the hypocrisy? So I know it makes you want to throw up your hands, but I want you to remember where we came from. And we never gained anything without a fight. There's no progress in this country without a fight. And I don't mean a civil war. That's what they would like to see happen. That's what, when that boy went in that church and killed 9 people he just finished praying with, he said he thought it might start the Civil War.
Wow.
There's a sickness in the land. There's a sickness. And there's a reason why I always felt there's a lot of celebration of Dr. King, but not nearly the recognition for Malcolm X. And it's because Dr. King came from love and honoring the better angels in each of us. Malcolm, who's my hero as well, began coming from hate and anger. He evolved to understanding we have to have a dialogue, we have to find a way to coexist if he never got to love, nor does he have to. I say all that to say, I know it's overwhelming. We thought when Trump wasn't reelected, we could get back to some normalcy. Mm-hmm. And then we found out he left poison everywhere. That Supreme Court is poison.
Oh, yes.
A little later. The Congress is full of poison. So removing him was just the tip of the iceberg. We can't give up the fight. we can't give up hope. That's what Jesse Jackson used to always say. Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
We've come far. We've got Ketanji. We've got Kamala. We can't act like those things don't matter. They matter. We had Obama. We have generations who grew up thinking that a Black president is normal. How amazing.
Our children see it, our grandchildren.
And in my lifetime, Dionne, we thought we'd never see it.
We really did.
We talked about it, but I know you cried like a baby just like I did the one who got elected. Because the impossible happened. I say that to say we're making the impossible happen all the time. And the purpose of this show is to try to give you new information and a roadmap to help you make the impossible possible.
Exactly. And Denise is right. And then I'm going to piggyback because I want to make sure people understand something. If we don't keep the fight going, and if we don't keep hope alive, what will happen to our grandchildren and our children, our children and their children and their children? See, because right now, it's what they did that yielded Barack Obama, that gave us the Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown, Ketanji Brown Jackson. This is the fruit. The problem is we microwave motherfuckers. Y'all are microwave people. That part. You are setting the standard and the walk and the path for your legacy, for your children's children. We are selfish because we want the justification and be gratified right now for us. They were unselfish. That's the difference. Our parents and Denise's parents, they were unselfish. They were setting everything in play for us and really our children. And how dare us stop and not do the same damn thing? But we say we love our kids.
You have no right. You don't have the right. You don't have the right to say, it don't matter, I give up. I have to question your values if you walk away from your obligation to participate in making change. And if you're watching the show, I know you're looking for a reason to keep fighting. And I could have come on today full of rage. There's a lot to be angry about.
I did, Teshi. I talked to her.
I know what's waiting for me if I go there. I can't go forward when I get like that. So I have to stay in a different kind of place in my head and in my heart, or the rage will overtake me to the point that I can't move. I can't think of how to path forward. And that's our job. That's our job. That's me and Dionne's job, to help create the path forward. And it entails demanding transparency about what happened in Ohio. What human being justifies in their psyche putting 12 bullets in that boy's face? His body was so riddled with bullets, he was unrecognizable.
Who does that? Wow.
I'm telling you, we need to come up with a system in every single state, and this is having a 50-year plan. Okay, I'm not saying tomorrow, but we need to start talking about every one of these police forces. We must root out who the white supremacists are, because that boy that killed 9 people and had a gun was taking the Burger King alive.
Sure was.
This other guy, I didn't write down the details, but I heard it. And this other guy this week killed 4 cops and was taken alive.
Alive. The guy you talking about 2 guys did this happened. Remember the guy that went to the black church, the one that went to the supermarket was taken alive. Alive.
I'm telling you, these people must be identified and removed from the police force. We must have that national registry so that if they get fired one place, they can't go be a cop somewhere else. We have to start talking about this stuff. We have to normalize talking about national, but there's so many things we need to fix and be conscious of.
And guys, we have to start. So when it's like I say, well, as my wife says, when we have a big problem we need to handle, and she'll say, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." So basically, what we're trying to do is take it one step at a time, and we don't want to overfill ourselves. You take it one step at a time, and we prioritize. I will never forget when Hillary Clinton was running for office, and Black Lives Matter was on her, and they were asking, "Would you help us? How would you help us?" She said, "Listen, I have no problem helping you. Go back, put together a plan, and bring it to me." And for the people that say we need another party, yeah, we sure do. We need another damn party with a lot more damn problems so that we'll have 3 damn parties that are all effed up. That's really the solution. That's really bright. That's your bright solution. Why does anyone never think about working on what's wrong and fixing it? And fixing it. That's a quick way to run away from it, because your party ain't gonna be as good. And it's not that no party is perfect. That's the problem right now. We're not saying the Democratic. There are times I am completely, absolutely freaking ashamed to say I'm a Democrat. I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, when I look over at the Republican side, I get on back out and take my sheet off and walk back out and say, okay, I'm a Democrat. We need some work. We got some work we need to do.
And again, we have to get past the microwave mindset and understand we're building a foundation for what we're going to make happen. So much of what occurred, that's what the big fear is. That's what's going on right now. All the progress that's been made, they're trying to legislate removing that progress.
Of course.
Because it's measurable and its impact is measurable.
That's what they're doing. I don't even... First of all, guys, you just joining us. I am Dionne Johnson. I'm your host, my lovely co-host, Denise Marie Harris. As I said, the leaner heart of my time, we are here. Guys, if you are even halfway enjoying what we're saying, please go to our YouTube page. You know what I mean? Our YouTube TV station. Go to I'm Just Saying TV. Please. And make sure that you subscribe, comment, and please share it. So I want you to go to YouTube, and then go to I'm Just Saying TV. And that's SAYIN. TV. Subscribe for us. Leave a comment for Denise. You can call Alina. I don't think she'll get mad. And leave a comment for us and let us know what you think. And if you
the name of this show is
Can You Handle the Trouble? And again, I can say it strongly because it was said to me. It is the only show that has been created in honor that is running of the late great John Lewis. So anyway, that's why we're sitting up under the Pettus Bridge every week that you see us. But guys, we're talking about the change that needs to take place, and that we need to set standards. And the standards that we are needing to set, we don't need to be microwavable. We know and have to respect that it's going to take time. But we have to get it started. We have to set the path of where we want our country to be for our children and their children and their children. And quit being selfish thinking that we want it for us. See, because here's the thing. John Lewis and the people during my mom and grandmother's time, they got spit on. They got to go to the other side. They couldn't drink from the water fountain. They had to go to the back. We getting shot at. Our children and stuff are getting murdered. But the thing about it, for everything, like she said, for every change that is progress, there is somebody evil waiting to do things to make us feel like there is no progress.
Which brings us back to this drum I've been beating about expanding the Supreme Court. because these last three appointed justices were appointed by a twice impeached president who did not win the popular vote. So we got 3 justices up here who do not represent the will of the American people, period. Everything they're backing and passing is not supported by the American people. Now they're getting ready to look at a case brought by North Carolina that if the legislators, the state legislators, don't agree with the outcome of a vote on a federal election, they have the right to overturn it. Meaning they will nullify every vote in the state. How did that even get to the court? How did the court even accept looking at that? You want to see a civil war? They're talking about reversing the will of the people. These people in Arizona who didn't want to certify the latest election because the anti-Trump person won, when they asked them, what are you basing your refusal to certify it on? What evidence do you have that this was not a good vote? They said things like, I just have a feeling. So the federal court said, you go certify that damn case. You don't get to have a feeling with no evidence. This is the kind of jackassery we're going to be facing in upcoming election. So this is no time. Voter suppression, the key to voter suppression, what is voter suppression? Voter suppression means to depress the vote, to make voting difficult, and to make the population so discouraged about voting, they don't even try. Your last line of defense is your vote. I don't care what you have to go through, my people. You must vote. You must vote. You must vote in such landslides that they can't mess with you because it was just 1 or 2% win in our way of thinking. We must have 10 and 12% wins. Wake up, because that's something immediate we can address. There's a lot of things we have to take a long range view, but there are some things that right now, if you're living in a red state, or you got friends and relatives in red states like I do, I'm talking to them on the phone like, you need to write your local state senator and let them know this cannot go down. And you need to get your whole darn church to send an email during service. Just stop the service, tell them what's going on, tell them what to say, and have them send an email. Give them 3 sentences.
You're right.
And include zip code.
You are so right. Yeah, she's really dry. I'm telling you, she's we are here for you. Yes, for us, but trust me, we definitely here. In you southern states, I'm going to keep telling you, wake up. Wake up. You like coffee, you like bacon, wake up and smell it all, because right now, your states were the first states that shut down Planned Parenthood. I mean, it really did, well, yes, but also shut down the abortion centers. I mean, within minutes of the decision, because they already knew, and they already had everything ready, which is scary to me. And the main thing about this is you called it, Denise. You said that abortion was going to be the foundation of what they were going to run on for 2022 here in November. You said it, you called it, and you knew it. And here we are. So much so, guys, we're going to pay some bills real quick, come back. But she called it so much so that Biden is in an uproar. And we've been trying to get him to end the filibuster hell for the John Lewis bill. And the voter suppression that's been going on, and he's ready to end the filibuster to fight Roe versus Wade. But I'm like the rest of them, the senators, let's do it for everything. Because, it's like Steele said, and Steele is now a proud member of the Lincoln Project. He used to be a Republican, we know this, and he let it be known because he's a Republican. We would do it no matter what the circumstance. We would do it. We would do it. And that is ridiculous, Joe Biden. I'm going to say that because I have been pulling for you from day one, A1 from day one. I don't mind telling you when we off a little bit. There is no reason for you to have a fear in the world. None. And I'm going to call it fear. What I'm saying is do what you feel is right and stand on that. And take that and walk it all the way through your whole presidency. I assure you, if you do that, you'll do 4 more years. Just do you. But quit thinking that you can deal with those good old boys. Please, let's pay some bills.
What further specific executive actions are you considering in response to the Roe ruling? And would you declare a public health emergency, as several Democrats are calling on you to do?
I'll be happy to go in detail with you on that. I'm having a meeting with a group of governors when I get home on Friday, and I'll have announcements to make then. But the first and foremost thing we should do is make it clear how outrageous this decision was and how much it impacts not just on woman's right to choose, which is a critical piece, but on privacy generally, And so I'm going to be talking to the governors as to what actions they think I should be taking as well. And but the most important thing to be clear about is we have to change. I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law, and the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that. And if the filibuster gets in the way, it's like voting rights. It should be, we provide an exception for this, require an exception to the filibuster for this action.
Guys, we are back. Denise and I we had some good conversation behind the scenes. I got cameras. I got to start letting them roll behind the scenes. I really do. Because I think we have our best epiphanies back there. But we're talking about Cheney. And
well,
go ahead.
Susan Collins was Republican senator. Lisa Murkowski, who is a Republican senator. Both of them secured promises from these 3 so-called supreme losers, not calling them justices because they don't stand for it, that Roe v. Wade would be secure. They were lied to. So what I'm saying is, I don't care if Manchin and Sinema sit out the filibuster. They need to stand up in favor of the filibuster, ending it. Then Kamala comes in and votes. That's all you need. The filibuster is ended. Roe v. Wade is codified. They need to have the guts and integrity of Liz Cheney and stand for what they stand for. Or they're liars. I don't know which they are more of, but time will tell. They need to be called out too. If you live in Alaska or you live in Maine where they're from, call them up.
I know that's right. You're right. And what she broke it down on how that filibuster will work. And I hate to do this, but in case somebody missed it, I want you to rewind it, but I'm asking her to say it again. Tell them what has to happen.
Filibuster can be ended with a majority vote. So if Manchin and Sinema want to sit it out, then the 2 Republican Senate women who had secured those promises should vote in.
Mm-hmm. Listen to it.
So that would be 50 votes in favor of ending the filibuster. And then Kamala comes in, breaks the tie, it's done.
It's done. And that means that whatever they have, even if it's the John Lewis bill or whatever, that means that that helps that, right?
Well, no, because they would only end the filibuster specifically to codify Roe.
Yes.
And I'm a little, no, not a little. I'm very discouraged about Biden because he's willing to go to the mat for Roe and not willing to go to the mat for voting rights which is John Lewis's bill. And the truth of the matter is, with what's going down, you don't have a chance in hell of winning in the next election unless this voter suppression stuff is reversed. But there's a saying I learned from my husband, and that is, you dance with the ones who brung it. Black women put Joe Biden in office, period. More black men voted for Trump this time than the last time. Black women put Biden in office. Yet his hesitancy about fighting for voting rights, but his full speed ahead for Roe, is because he wants to make sure he has white women's support. And that annoys me to no end, because he don't realize who brought him to the dance. Because if we get voting rights resolved, then all this stuff is settled. But if you have the right to abortion and you can't vote, what? How is that logical?
Got you. It makes sense. That makes sense. But that's why I was asking what I asked, or discussing what I discussed. Why can't he just end the filibuster and be through with it?
Because the separation of the three branches. That's a filibuster. First of all, filibuster is not in the Constitution. It's some Senate rule that got created at some
by the Republicans, right?
And it was rare. No, I think Democrats created it, but it was rarely ever used. Filibuster became weaponized by
the Republicans.
Yes. Yes.
So why can't we weaponize that sucker?
We don't have a large enough majority. We don't have Manchin and Sinema with us.
So if we had them with us, could we use a filibuster for both?
Yeah.
Joe Biden, you better get them some bitches in that office and figure out what the hell you got to do, because I know that ain't no way Manchin and Sinema don't have something that you can blackmail their asses with. If that was Trump, they'd already be on board. It's time to quit playing fair. You are swimming with sharks. And some of your team is dirty.
Yeah.
And you need to clean it.
Yeah.
And you walking on fear anyway. We don't need to wait anymore. We don't. It's too much happening in the midst right now. I get it. You're hoping that we are going to get, and I know what he's thinking, that if we can get the Senate, add more seats, get more control of the House, then we can really do what needs to be done.
But what I think is, where I think his thinking is wrong, is that he's listening to the wrong people. He doesn't understand I don't think he has a real feel for the level of rage that's in the community. More black women have abortions than white women because we have less access to birth control. It's that simple.
Wow.
That's why the majority of abortions are requested by black women. He doesn't understand the level of rage we feel about abortion and we feel about our voting rights being infringed upon. I have young people around me who are so excited that they get to do the same fight their grandparents did. And this time they're determined when it gets turned around, it can never be reversed again. You got the squad. That's who he needs to be listening to. Because those 4 congresswomen, they're serious. They're serious about holding people accountable by name now. Make them vote on it. Make them vote on
it. She's right. Make them vote on it.
Record their vote that they're against Roe. Make them vote against the filibuster. Put those 2 chicks on record.
Guys, she's telling the truth. Make them put their money, because they look so shocked when it happened. And they said that they talked to 2 of them, remember, of the Supreme Court, and they assured them that it wasn't going to happen. So they looked
so. They were shocked about January 6th.
Yeah, right. But that's why now I think Cheney was, because that's why she's really putting herself out there on the line. Like, you really did this stuff. So this is not right, and I can't justify this. This is ridiculous.
Well, she never was a Trumper, but she is a Republican.
Yeah, y'all hell yes. Let the record show.
Voting record of 97%. She voted
on the shit Trump did. I know she voted in his. You're absolutely right. We followed it. We saw it, guys. Listen, get your ass out and vote. And as far as the White House right now and President Joe Biden, get your butt up and make some things happen. You are the president of the United States. You hold the highest seat.
I would be fine if he said, you know what, guys, I don't think I can go any further. I'm resigning. I'm turning this over to Kamala. Give it to her. Let her run this shit. Let Kamala run. Because I don't feel like Biden's a fighter anymore.
Well, it's hard. I think that it's not that he's not a fighter. I think that there's things going on with him that more concerning to him that the fight is not in him. He doesn't have the energy to fight.
I think he is a creature of the Senate. He spent 40 years there.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe emotionally he is somewhat heartbroken of how corrupt the Senate has become.
It was always that way. He just didn't. He act like he didn't know.
Well, he comes from the day. Look, politics is the art of compromise. The last time he was in the Senate, you know, him and John McCain would get together for lunch. It wasn't this great hatred being cultivated between the two parties. You can have a conversation and find a middle path to make things work, to govern this country. There's no governing anymore. I mean, what Biden has accomplished in the time he's been in office, you know, we did have a whole show about outlining the 8 major things he's accomplished. He's done a lot. But these big things, voting, women's right to choose, are they holding out to make sure the Democrats win the election? Maybe. Is that what he's waiting for?
But that's not that's playing Russian roulette.
Women have to die while we're waiting for that. How many women have to die? Why? What? Just the way we kept talking about Brittany, every week we need to talk about there should be 13 seats on the Supreme Court. And why isn't that being highlighted on these mainstream shows? Why isn't it being explained that we are entitled to 13 Supreme Court justices based on having 13 Court of Appeals? That's why we have 9, because there were only 9 certain courts. Now there are 13. Do your job.
It's not stacking the house. She keeps trying to tell you that. That's not stacking the house.
It's sticking with the precedents that's been set since, I think, 1869.
Damn, that long.
The number of people on the Supreme Court has changed 5 times. At one point it was 7, another time it was 5, another time it was 8. So why isn't this being talked about with some frequency? It needs to get talked about. People need to be educated. They need to be informed. They need to start demanding this. And demanding that their elected officials start demanding this.
See? Guys, I'm telling you.
It would take an act of Congress to make it happen. That's all. Easy.
It's an act of Congress. What do we have control of for sure right now?
We have Congress by, I think, 5 seats.
Okay, that's still good.
Slim.
Yeah, we got to fix that too. We need about 5 more seats. I'd settle for 15 to really be good and happy. I don't know. I feel like you feel. I really do. I just don't want to speak that, but I really feel that they effed up by what they did with Roe versus Wade, Republicans. And that the Supreme Court hurt the Republicans more than helped them. And and I think that there are a lot of women that are going to vote. They're not going to speak on it, but they're going to probably go in there and they're going to vote Democrat.
I believe so.
Yeah, without a doubt. A whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Just like with COVID. Because Biden didn't win by,
right.
He did what you said. It was like, floop. Well, nothing. I mean, it was so much until some of the counts were ridiculous of the recount. It's like, dude, ain't no way in the hell you going to catch that many votes. You just wasting time. But the point is...
Go ahead.
No, but that's what we're looking at. And I want you to speak about it, like with what's going on with Val Demings and Marco Rubio.
Well, this is what's fascinating, because in the January 6th hearings this week, they were talking to, I believe it was Raffensperger from Georgia, because this was the state that was driving Trump crazy. And Raffensperger said the problem that Trump has is he can't believe that Republicans down ballot got elected, but decided they didn't want Trump to, and instead voted for Biden, because that's what the ballots show. That they were done with Trump and his craziness, but in this regard, they were still Republicans. And I know from doing the DNC telemarketing campaigns, when we're calling people back for another gift for this fight, they're saying, oh no, I'm a Republican. I gave to get rid of Trump. But now that he's gone, I'm back to supporting my party. So that's very interesting.
But see, now the Republicans, and I know you're going to love this, they don't have Trump to blame for Roe versus Wade other than the Supreme Court. But still, like you said about Cheney and all of them, still make the vote happen. Let's see where you really stand.
Be online. As far as the election concerned, you'd be happy to know that Val is only 2 points behind.
Come on,
So
Val.
she's coming up.
Come on, Val. Come on, Val.
Come on, Val. Coming up. Warner is 10 points over Herschel Walker. So
I think that kid thing hurt him.
The kid thing and Roe v. Wade.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Roe v. Wade is giving Val a leg up.
I was going to give her a big leg. Val, you need to get back out and talk again, really.
And Stacey is dead even with Kemp, the current governor. They're both at 48%. So she just got to pull out the pack. Get ahead of it. So, November's closer than we think. You have to keep pushing. And
we got to keep really pushing.
Yeah.
So we got Warnock, we got Val Demings, and we got our girl Stacey Abrams. Because we definitely want her to get that governor's seat. And Lord knows she busted her ass to make sure that Biden was in office. She did a lot. She did that. I think that she's gonna get redeemed.
What do you mean?
I think she's gonna win that governor's seat.
Oh yeah.
Because they cheated her.
Well, they're doing everything they can to suppress the vote in Georgia, as you know.
Yeah, they are, and we got.
And I want to tell you, it would be great to see her get elected, but she also needs a state house that she can work with. Because if she's elected governor, but everybody she's got to work with is a Republican, it's going to be a hard fight. So let's turn Georgia blue, period.
Yeah.
Up and down the board.
Up and down.
And down.
Yeah, I noticed that Denise and I tried to tell you that these southern states can be turned. Look at Georgia. These states can be turned. Get y'all ass out and do it.
And the fact that Warnock is 10 points ahead in Georgia. Stacey is pulled even. I think between the two of them, they're going to pull both each other across the finish line.
Wow. And I think so too. And guys, support these campaigns. You can go on their sites, I assure you, and make a donation. No donation is too small. I'm telling you, they're not going to turn it down. $5, $10, because guys, you spend that up in coffee. If you're not a coffee drinker, you're going to spend it up on Coca-Cola or whatever you drink. But this is a peace of mind, because if we secure these CC, we keep telling you this, and Denise and I in California, but I'm going to tell you something Hillary Clinton said. Because she's back out talking. And she lives in New York. And like she said, I'm going to tell y'all something. If we don't secure the House and the Senate, we are in trouble because they are going to write federal laws that we cannot undo. And it will affect California. It will affect Washington. It will affect New York because we'll start getting charged and prosecuted as well. So, guys, it is in the vote. This is a woman that has been right the whole damn time.
On every point.
And she said they already knew it. And they are going to come at it without a doubt. Same-sex marriage, they are going to come at your ass. LGBTQ, they're coming in every way. This is a run back. And if John Lewis told you, he done been there when he was living. He told you, you don't want to go back. You want to go back, young people? Y'all won't be able to survive it. My LGBTQ, I see you guys. You're so flamboyant and out there and happy. You don't want to go back. That closet can't hold your ego. It can't. You gotta budget. You ain't gonna fit up in there. So I can shoot it to you real because I'm family. It's time to get out and vote. If you've never voted, vote.
And the thing that concerns me, so I just want to say this. I've been reading on social media, families. Now, if you're a family with a kid who has come out as gay or come out that they want to transition and that they're in their heart of hearts that they should be transgender, I understand that family saying, I got to leave the state to protect my child. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had a fund to send you $10,000 to get the hell out. But then there are other people who are just saying, I got to leave the state. I can't support the state anymore. And I want to remind you about the Electoral College. If all the right-thinking people, if all the forward-thinking people, if all the progressive-thinking people leave the red states, then there's no influence to change what's happening in that state for the people who cannot afford to leave. I mean, how fortunate for you that you can. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, who can't. And like I tell my husband when he shakes his head about the red state, I told him that I lived through 4 Republican governorships in the state of California. I remember when California was a red state. But one thing I've noticed is once it goes blue, don't go back. Once you get the taste of winning in your spirit, you don't go back to losing. Once you see that your vote made that difference, you don't go back to being indifferent. They tell me that some of these, they're talking about low turnout, but in other states, they're saying that midterm turnout was higher than the last election for Democrats. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up. Don't leave the fight. You know, I got friends in North Carolina who I'm saying, please don't leave. You know, I got friends in Texas. I'm saying, please don't leave. Don't leave. Please stay. Please talk to your neighbors who don't think like you. You're keeping your thinking a secret. Start engaging them in conversation.
That's right.
Careful. But don't let them say crap and you don't pick it up and say, wait, that's wrong. Don't let them say words that you know are wrong and just brush it off. You have to stop normalizing hate.
And that's what we're doing. We're really trying to act like we can walk through here like this is normal behavior. And that this is a normal way of life. It's not. This is just so abnormal, it's ridiculous. And I don't know how we are trying to fit it into a frame of normalcy. It's ludicrous. And it's a definition of true insanity. And so I'm outraged that people are just planning a beautiful 4th of July and a mother has lost a child that was shot at 90 times and hit 60.
Can you imagine 12 bullets in the face? His face was unrecognizable.
I just
So
saw
many
her.
people.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me show the people the video of the mother. This was heartbreaking.
What further specific executive actions are you considering in response to the Roe ruling?
Yeah, hey, good morning to you both. As the family mourns, the city of Akron is now preparing for potential of protests and unrest. You can see here taking no chances, closing streets, but also using snowplows as barriers. This as the mother of Jalen Walker mourns the death of her son.
Why did this happen and in such a manner?
And it's that resounding question as of why. That's the question on so many people's mind right now. And how did it lead to Walker being shot 60 times by Akron police? Well, according to police, they tried to stop Walker for a traffic violation, but he then sped away during a high-speed chase throughout the city. It's reported that shots were heard from Walker's car. Walker then ran from his car. A gun was later found in his vehicle, but as he was running from police, 8 officers fired more than 90 rounds at Walker after what they say he made a threatening move. But yesterday, Walker's family heartbroken over the situation, including his aunt and his mother.
We love Jalen. He was my skinny little nephew. And we miss him. And we just want some answers.
I'm sick as a mother that it came to that. If they would have spent 5 minutes with him, it would never have ended that way.
Yeah, clearly heartbroken over this situation, and the Walker family did repeatedly say that they...
Because we, guys, these are just talking about organically. We want to make sure we never continue. We don't want you to get complacent. And so from the moment we walked in here, I don't know why, but it seems like we always do this anyway. And we genuinely did it from the beginning, from election of 2020. We can't stop what we do. And I tell my sister that, my sister in this walk, that we were meant to do this. Mm-hmm. And this was set for us. And so no matter what happens for us, we will always know why we sit in front of this table, in front of this bridge. And we want, when we're doing it, doesn't matter what is going on, if it's better or whatever, we will know why we really are here, because we know why we sit here in the beginning. But we want to make sure you remember something. We're not gonna let you sleep on this shit. And I'm the mean one. I'm the one that would curse. That's the queen. We're not gonna let you sleep on this shit because we get complacent. So we're gonna be still reminding you to stomp, still reminding you you gotta walk, you gotta march, you gotta scream, you gotta shout, because the election is what this is all about, and there's always an election. And we get complacent. Stuff happens, and if it's 2 or 3 months away or 4 months away, we tend to forget. No, we're going to make sure your ass remember why you need to go to the polls. Now...
And please understand, as Hillary said, you may be thinking you're sitting safe and pretty in a blue state. Mm-hmm. But these cases are coming to the Supreme Court, and they can impact you. If they take away, if we lose the majority in the House and don't increase the majority in the Senate, they are going to create national laws that will take away your freedom of choice, will take away your right to love who you want and marry them. I'm telling you, it's coming. I wasn't wrong about abortion, and I am not wrong about saying...
Oh, you can guarantee it. If you don't vote and get their ass somewhere and shut them up for a minute, the laws will be made, and you will not be able to be freely gay or freely in the LGBTQ community. Yo, I told you, some of your heads can't fit in that closet. And it won't be nothing California or New York can do. Gonna find your ass going over there to France or somewhere. You know what I mean? My girl is from the Netherlands. You're gonna be over there in love. So you better fix this shit. Now let's move on. And I am cursing because, see, I'm even guilty of it. My mom would say to me when I was young, Dionne, go wash dishes. Okay, Mom, I'm gonna go. Dionne, go wash the dishes, honey. Okay, Mom, I'll wash them in a minute. She go back in the kitchen, I'm still sitting there. Dionne, would you go wash the dishes, baby? Yes, Mom, I'm gonna go. She go away for a few minutes, she go back, finally, she said, get your ass up and go wash them damn dishes. See, y'all gotta make me lose myself before you hear me. I can't ask you nicely, you won't do a damn thing. But when I get angry and I got to come out of myself, then you get up and go do what I asked you to do. Why? So I'm going to talk to you like my mom would talk to me after she done told me 10, 12 times. Nicely. Get your asses up. Get yourself ready. Start planning now how you're going to vote. If you're in one of those states where they've tried to do all this crippling shit, that's what I call it. And you guys have done it. You did it through a pandemic. They were fighting you then. They had rules and regulations out the ass, and we had a pandemic that was, it's still here, but I'm talking about it was killing every single day. No, at that time Denise did, but we didn't even have a vaccination. And you got your ass out and you told that damn Trump, get the hell out of our house. And that's what you got to do now. You got to tell these Roe versus Wade people and the Supreme Court justices, we coming for you. Because we're going to get control of this House and Senate, and we're going to have Biden even out that court. So you'll be just sitting there looking crazy with your raggedy asses. And that's what you got to tell them. Now, guys, we got to talk about my girl, Brittany Griner. And that's another thing. We're going to call it like we call it. Denise and I started this when we started back doing Can You Handle the Trouble on second season. She even spoke it to me. We said it together, and she did say it. We are going to make sure we walk this with Brittany Griner until they bring her home. And that is what we're going to do. I play the song at the end of every show. If I miss this show and I do the other show, I still play the Stephanie Mills song Home with Brittany's face, her with her girl and everything, because I'm not going to quit playing it. I'm not going to quit doing anything until Brittany gets home. And when Denise and I walk up or people see us somewhere wide and we're talking about it, we're going to still say, Brittany, come on, because we've been doing this, and you can go back and know. We've called him out. Roland Martin, do a little bit more, is what I'm trying to say. But I did like the visual, but I want you to talk about it. This surpasses
Talk about it.
Talk about it. This surpasses who she chooses to love. And if you wonder why I'm calling you out, because that's how you are. That's who you are. It's because it's for whom that much is given, much is required and asked of. I watch your show. We do this. We know your name. You know her name. Just call it. Speak on it. If there's power in the voice and the mic, let's use this. Let's get this young woman home. This is not her assignment.
Right.
And I'm like her wife said, the longer she's gone, she's worried about who she's going to get back.
Right.
And as a mother, her mother, going to bed.
Go ahead.
No, just saying that there's a mother. If I can't put it any other way to make you say it as a parent, there's a parent going to bed every night worried about her baby. We talking about Russia. I'm still with Denise. I still have yet. I've watched that video footage again and again, and I don't see one damn time spot. Go ahead, Denise.
When I saw her being taken to court this week, chained to the female guard, she had a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt on. It just broke my heart. I mean, her whole face was like, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? Like, I stopped the TV, I rewound it, I looked again, I'm like, my heart just went out to her. It's just unbelievable. And we need to do whatever we need to do to get her home. We have said this is an unlawful detention. We have thrown down the gauntlet upon our investigation and recognized this is a setup. This is a setup. And I was angry because a lot of American sentiment that I was seeing on social media was stuff like, well, now this will teach you a lesson. What? What are you talking about?
You sick asses. Denise couldn't say what I could say. Your sick ass. Now, well, who are you to even say that? If she's going to be punished, punish her ass over here. And then where's your proof that the girl is guilty? You done convicted her already.
And I'll say it again. Where is the date and time stamp on that video? Where?
There isn't one, because the video is been already docked. We're talking about Putin. We're talking about Putin. I'm like Evelyn Iverson with practice.
Head of the KGB, the former head of the KGB, who has all kinds of tricks up his sleeve to fake stuff. Come on now.
And this is what you want to say. Well, how about we send your ass over there?
Right.
That part, because I know, you know, y'all say shit like y'all just free of never making a mistake. But I don't feel in my soul of soul she did that. This woman she understood the assignment as far as being a basketball player. Remember, Denise, you told a story about your son when he was talking about going to Russia and what the instructor told him. So right away, you know that they've schooled her on what to do, and this is not her first round with this. She's been playing for a while with Russia.
Right.
So she already knows.
To say this, if she had pay equity with the NBA, if the women basketball players were even partially paid as much as the men basketball players, she wouldn't have to work year round with no time off. She's working year round because she don't get paid a decent wage here.
How about that? Why don't we in WNBA, let's all get together and try to fight for equal pay, better pay for you guys. So this won't ever happen again.
How about that?
Come on now, guys. There's a lot we can do. There's a litany of things that we can do. There's a litany. And heaven help me. I'm finna get my ass ate up. And rolling with all them layers you have of how people can donate money, can we have some layers of how people can reach out to help this young lady? Because guys, there's got to be a way. We have to pull together. LeBron James, I still applaud you for saying, what can we do? What can I do? We need more. This is not right.
Right.
And she had been an NBA player, y'all have her ass home by now.
And a man.
And straight. That part right there. But a woman birthed y'all ass in the world. Didn't no man do that. Just want to remind you of that. That part. A woman brought you in this world. Didn't no man do that. So with Roe versus Wade, with Brittany Griner, it's time for y'all to show y'all appreciation. And I need more than Tupac's song, man. You are appreciated. I need you to show some appreciation. It's time for men to stand up and be ready. I mean, not that you haven't already, but stand up and be even more vocal. And Crump, I keep calling your ass. Call that baby's mama. Call that baby's mama. You call Jalen's mom, Jalen Walker's mom. You get in there. Get in touch with Brittany Griner's wife. Ain't nobody else gonna do this shit. Let's get some shit done.
She has an attorney.
She needs to call Crump. Get her compensated. Get Brittany compensated for when she get out, because she had no goddamn business going over here. She's not in the army. She's not in the military. She didn't understand the assignment. And you guys, yes, we are. Our government is even if you're doing something behind the scenes, it shouldn't be so behind the scenes we don't see shit.
Let's see a result.
How about that? That part. Now, guys, we angry. But I'm going to tell you something. We quote Maya Angelou because she's one of the greats, but Denise has an assignment that next week she's going to find us another great poet or a great speaker to quote. And every month we're going to do their quote, because we want everyone that has something great to say to be heard. And the reason I said Denise, because I know she know a lot of great people that have said a lot of great things. Hell, I don't care if it's her quote. We're going to quote. So, like I said, today, though, like I said, but next week we'll have a new one. But you still, right now, because we are angry, we will still quote Maya. She's saying that it's okay to be angry. That is a normal reaction. Let's be angry. Be really angry, because I was really damn angry. But we don't want it to manifest inside, and then, because see, that kind of anger can kill you. It destroys your soul. So you have to find a way to generate that anger. Another way that we can place that anger and use it where it becomes of empowerment for us. And in ways that we do that, and Denise and I are speaking on it, it's through the things and the gifts that God has given us. Like we can talk it. Like Denise and I are doing, talk it. I don't care if somebody says, I'm sick of you talking about it. That's okay. Keep talking, because someone's always listening. You can dance it. I want to hear people saying, every time I look around, that girl is out there dancing. They got the damn ballet going, or she's out here with the hip hop dance. But if you got something going on and you dance your ass off, girl, I'll play the music for you. You teach it, you talk it, you walk it, you march it. March. I wish to God everybody felt like Denise and I felt, because to be honest with you, all COVID aside, we need to be marching right now. There shouldn't even be no 4th of July unless we got grills on the sidelines. You run over, you grab your hot dog or hamburger, and you keep on marching. This is the way it needs to be. And this is the way it should be, guys. We got to fix this. But the one thing we won't do is let this anger consume us to the point we are blinded and we don't stop fighting. Because the main thing we have to do is get our ass to the polls and vote. Vote, vote. Vote for change. Vote to fix it. And as Hillary Clinton said, and if you don't like her name, Hillary Clinton, the bitch was right. Get mad. Because now I can sit like a songbird. See, I cried in the bed like a baby when she lost. Wasn't because I was that caught up in Hillary, but I knew what we were getting. And it ain't been the same ever since.
Right.
Nothing has been right. Look at everything you lost. I'm going to go there again. My friends love it when I do this. My cousin and family, my mom and them. Cat Williams said, what kind of man you put in the office that can fuck up everything? He fucked up everything. Everything. Now you don't have Roe versus Wade. You ain't even got your own right to make a choice. That's everything. So now what do we do for what we did wrong? Now go make the right vote.
Right.
You made the wrong one. And from 16 to 20 to 2022, we're still suffering from it.
Right.
Go make the right vote. If you have never, ever, ever voted in your life, do something crazy. And if it makes you sick to do it.
Stop complaining and take action.
Janice, if I see one more, Weaver, if I see one more on the thing, telling us what we should do and what happened with the country and what the Democrats are doing, what the Republicans ain't doing, but you ain't doing a damn thing.
Right.
Where's your vote?
Right.
Where's your place where we could go, even if you feel like you need a Green Party? Where can the Green people meet? Where the Green people meet? Mars? And that's all we trying to say, guys. Guys, we're going to walk you out of here. I'm going to leave Lena out in the way that she should be left out, because a lady is a lady, and a lady know when to leave and how to exit. I'm going to leave Lena out real beautifully. And what's going to happen is once we do that, then we're going to bring in, we got Ketanji, we got John Lewis speaking something powerful, which fits with Ketanji being sworn in. And we're going to end that with Leandra letting the people know that better days are coming. And Denise and I are telling you, if you get out and stroll and walk and fight and shift and squeeze your ass to a voting poll in November, and if you make the right vote, better days will come. But don't sit here and do nothing and say it ain't getting no better. Just lead the people with something. Lead the people with something.
Go to YouTube, click on I'm Just Saying, and that's SAYN apostrophe, no G. Then find Can You Handle the Trouble? Like us, comment, and share. We appreciate you for that.
You see the Queen? Now the Queen has to go. She has people waiting.
And this is my right hand. I wouldn't be here without her. She told me to keep, but she's the one who gave me the call saying, "Denise, come help me get through this election. I'm doing this show." And I said, "Okay." And then I got to liking it, so I'm still here.
But I mean, why did I call though? Guys, come on. If you call someone, what are you calling for? And when we call people that we know can do what? Can help us. And one day soon, I'm going to be saying that was the best decision I ever made in my life. But she know. That's the reason they call her Tiny Terror. Trust me. But she comes with the brains with it. Trust me. That's why I say don't get in the ring with them. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And I appreciate you for having me be your co-host.
Yes, I love it. Have a great one. Have a beautiful time with that beautiful grandson.
Bye-bye.
Guys, we are out. Trust me.
We must stand up, and speak out. A few years ago, a man from Rock Hill, inspired by President Obama's election, decided to come forward. He came to my office in Washington and said, "I am one of the people who beat you. I want to apologize. will you forgive me? I said, I accept your apology. He started crying. He gave me a hug. I hugged him back, and we both started crying. This man and I don't want to go back. We don't want to go back. Brothers and sisters, do you want to go back? Or do you want to keep America moving forward? My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have to create a more perfect union. Not too long ago, people stood in unmovable lines. They had to pass a so-called literacy test, pay a poll tax. On one occasion, a man was asked to count the number of bubbles in a bar of soap. On another occasion, one was asked to count the jelly beans in a jar, all to keep them from casting their ballot. Today, it is unbelievable that there are Republican officials are trying to stop some people from voting. They are changing the rules, cutting polling hours and imposing a requirement intended to suppress the vote. The Republican leader in the Pennsylvania House even bragged that his state's new voter ID law is going to allow Governor Romney to win the state. That's not right, that's not fair, and that is not just. And similar efforts have been made in Texas, Ohio, Florida, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, and South Carolina. I've seen this before. I lived this before. Too many people struggled, suffered, and died to make it possible for every American to exercise their right to vote. Together to ever turn back. So Democrats, we must not be silent. We must stand up, and speak out.
Welcome to the Supreme Court. We're here today to administer the oaths of office to Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to become an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. But before we do so, I would like to recognize Dr. Patrick Jackson, who is here, her husband, and her daughters Talia and Layla. The administration of the oath is required both by the Constitution and by the Judiciary Act, and so we'll be delivering two oaths. I'll deliver the constitutional oath, and Justice Breyer will administer the statutory oath. There will be a formal investiture in the fall, but the oaths will allow Judge Jackson to undertake her duties, and she's been anxious to get to them without any further delay. Are you prepared to take the oath?
I am.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, and now I'll turn things over to Justice Breyer.
Good. The judicial oath, will you raise your right hand, please? Thank you. I, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will administer justice
that I will administer justice
without respect to persons
without respect to persons
and do equal right
and do equal right
to the poor and to the rich,
to the poor and to the rich,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States.
As an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States.
Under the Constitution.
Under the Constitution.
And laws of the United States.
And laws of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And now, on behalf of all of the members of the court, I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
Bravo!
'Cause you've been so good to me. 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 'Cause you've been so good. 'Cause you've been so good. 'Cause you've been so you've been so good. Said you've been so good. Yeah, 'cause you've been good to me. You keep opening doors for me. The doors I did not expect. The doors I asked you to wreck. Everything I have belongs to you. Everything I have belongs to you. 'Cause you've been good. 'Cause you've been good. Hey, you've been good. Yeah, 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 yeah. For my liberty. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hallelujah. Hey, hey, no, 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 yeah, yeah. People keep on learning. Soldiers keep on warring. World keep on turning. 'Cause it won't be too long. Oh no. Coward.
They say life is what you make it, yeah. But I'm